So folks, House Representatives have just introduced a new bill that is going to provide eligible Americans with new $1,200 and $600 checks. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, a Minnesota Democrat, is now proposing a plan to provide monthly stimulus payments up to $1,200 for adults and $600 for children. It is called the Support Act, everybody, and this is going to be our fourth stimulus check when President Biden signs it into law. But what are your thoughts on this, everybody? What are your thoughts on President Biden? Is he the one holding back our stimulus check? And do you believe that he should do a better job in helping Americans out with more stimulus payments? Do you believe that President Biden can get the job done and send it out, everybody?
Proceed. I'm very disappointed that we're not going with the original $3.5 trillion, which was very transformative. But in the whatever we do, we'll make decisions that will continue to be transformative about women in the workplace. So transformed because of childcare and which sort of go together, the child tax credit, home health care workers. Men benefit too, but largely women, and women are those caregivers as well. So not only to free up women to go into the workplace for their own professions and interest, but also to recognize the work that women do in providing that health care, issues that relate to family and medical leave and the rest. The Build Back Better is three baskets. It's climate, which we spent some time talking about already, health, jobs, security, and moral responsibility. It's health care, the issues that relate to the Affordable Care Act, Medicare and Medicaid, and family care. I mentioned some of those issues already. And so whatever we do, it will be transformative. It will produce results. And we are very grateful to our president for saying, I want to pass the bipartisan legislation on infrastructure, but I will not confine my vision for the future to what can be in that bill. Hence, we need the Build Back Better.
The cost of heating and cooling their homes, it's hurting our American families. And yet, even with these red flags, the Biden administration and my Democrat colleagues want to spend an additional $3.5 trillion with a T dollars. And if that's not enough, they want to impose the largest tax hike in decades. These efforts will hit American families with higher prices and greater tax burdens at a time when they can least afford it. I'm not sure there's a time when we could ever afford it. So this makes zero sense. Now, I know President Biden has promised not to raise taxes on families making less than $400,000 a year.
In household wealth and drastic increase in the cost of loans, car loans, mortgages, student loans, credit card bills, and other borrowing. Our action also protects the American economy. So when we say domestic economy, we're talking domestic, we're talking kitchen table when we talk about car loans, mortgages, student loans, credit card bills, etc., as well as jobs and trillions of dollars in household wealth. In terms of the domestic economy writ large, our action protects the economy, preventing a decline in the real GDP of up to 4%, a surge in the unemployment rate, as I mentioned, and what J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon called, quote, a catastrophe of unbelievable proportions and damage to America for up to 100 years. Up to 100 years. This is also about the health of the global economy, kitchen table, broader domestic, national economy, the global economy. The Council of Economic Advisors has stated, a default would send shockwaves through global financial markets and would likely cause credit markets worldwide to freeze up and stock markets to plunge. Employers around the world would likely have to begin laying off workers. Goes on to say the 2008 financial crisis had ripple effects throughout the global economy that ricocheted back to the U.S. shores, causing firms to lay off workers, here we are again, and cut private investment. A financial crisis driven by a default has the potential to be even worse, in addition to hitting a global economy not fully recovered from the pandemic. Addressing the debt limit honors our duty to the Constitution. The 14th Amendment, Section 4 states, "The validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law shall not be questioned." So my question, Mr. Speaker, to you is, and to our colleagues, what is it that they have against families when they want to increase unemployment, decrease household wealth, and have families be charged more for car loans, credit card loans, mortgage payments, and other borrowing? Don't you care about that? What do you have against our own economy, where this catastrophe of unbelievable proportions could have impact for?
So Representative Omar said, "For too long, we have prioritized endless growth, while millions of people are homeless, hungry, or without health care. The crisis has laid bare these inequalities, and that we as a nation have the ability to make sure everyone has their basic needs, like food, housing, and healthcare met." The new Office of Guaranteed Income Programs will be established in the Treasury Department to oversee the payments under the proposal. Plus, U.S. residents and 18 and older would see $1,200 payments, while child dependents would receive $600 monthly. Folks, tell me in the comments below, do you believe that President Biden can send out the fourth stimulus check? Tell me what you think, everybody. Eligibility is also dependent on income. For example, single taxpayers will have to have an AGI of just $75,000 or less. For married couples filing jointly, maximum income would have to be $150,000. These stimulus payments will then gradually be scaled down $5 for every 100 over those income levels. The program will be established with a $2.5 billion grant fund used to pilot guaranteed income programs across the country. The efforts will be studied from 2023 to 2027 with a national program and payments starting in 2028. Some Democratic members of Congress have shown support for Omar's bill and have expressed it in public statements. I personally believe that this should be done, everybody. President Biden should definitely send out the fourth stimulus check before the end of the year. And now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has just delivered a strong boost to the state's economy, ending the extra federal unemployment benefits early. So after the former president signed the CARES Act into law, federal unemployment insurance paid recipients received $300 per week on top of the weekly state unemployment payments. Employers have complained that former employees were refusing to come back to work because they made more money on unemployment than they did on the job. Yet DeSantis rolled back on those extra benefits starting in June, more than 2 months before the benefits were set to phase out nationally on Labor Day. The benefits expiration may indeed lead more people to accept jobs, but it's going to take time. Although there were a record 10.9 million job openings in July, the economic recovery has softened a bit in recent months. Also, some parents continue to struggle with childcare issues, and some workers fear taking positions where they have to deal with the public. Nearly 5 million people said they were not working because they were caring for children. So folks, that's all of the news in this fourth stimulus check update.